What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bridging the Geekdoms. I'm your host, Robert Slavinsky. This is Bridging the Geekdoms Free Talk, and I wanted to do a live stream, but for some unknown reason, once again, my phone is acting up, or StreamYard is acting up. I'm not really sure which or who did it or what's causing the issue, so let's just talk about it here. So I want to talk about something because the Snyder Cut, and yeah, my hair's crazy. I gotta love COVID-19 time. But anyway, let's get on to it. The Snyder Cut is due to release here in a few months in March. Exciting times for all, for sure. I can't wait. I know a lot of other people can't wait. Actually, if you head over to spoilerverse.com, you can check out my review of the release of the Snyder Cut book from Sean O'Connell, which kind of dives into the entire movement on how the movie was actually made. But here's the thing. Now that it's getting made, now that it's coming out, and we're going to be able to watch this 4-hour cut of a movie, which Zack Snyder just recently revealed that it will be a 4-hour-long movie, no longer 4 parts or a mini-series, which, while what he said on Vero insinuates that, I do believe that we're still going to see it in 4 parts in some form or fashion, whether there's like chapters throughout, or even if it's just all dropped at once. Not really sure on the specifics, but I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. But something that's been kind of bothering me now for the last, give or take, month or so is the idea, the thought, the possibility that Zack Snyder's Justice League could fail. Now, how could that happen? How could Zack Snyder's Justice League fail? How could something that was only created and given to us because of our hard, dedicated work, how could that possibly fail? Because by all accounts, I've said it multiple times myself, it is already a success, which, yes, it is. You know, this is a rare time. This is a time where we we won. Like, we went out there and we made a movie happen. This wasn't a case where a studio was like, let's make a movie and let's see if it works or not. No, us fans, we went out, we petitioned, we created a movement, we made our voices heard, and we made a movie happen. It's being made because we asked for it. That doesn't happen unless the movie is already going to be some sort of a success. Now, granted, there wasn't as much financial, I can't think of the word I'm looking for, risk. There we go. Financial risk going into it as, say, another movie, a normal movie being made. But in the grand scheme of things, there is some risk. And there is some possibility that this could fail. Now, why does it matter if this movie were to fail? What could happen? If this movie fails, what do we or do we not get in the grand scheme of things? Well, first and foremost, this cul-de-sac of films. I don't know who coined that term, cul-de-sac. I use it all the time now. I love it. If you happen to be watching my show and you're the one who coined it, definitely let me know. I love it. I will give you all the credit in the world. But this Snyderverse, or cul-de-sac of films, that, by all accounts, by a lot of people I trust, is due to make its triumphant return, such as the Ben Affleck Batman Project, David Ayer's Suicide Squad, as well as Justice League's Parts 2 and 3. Those are all going to happen. But now there's this little stipulation that wasn't talked about early on, that as long as Zack Snyder's Justice League is successful, we will get these. So what determines success when it comes to an HBO Max show? Now everybody's sitting there saying, oh, it's subscriptions. Well, you can't say that, because what is it, like 80% of the world, 90% of the world doesn't even have HBO Max. The people that want to see this movie don't have access to see it on HBO Max. So sitting there saying that, oh, the success relies on HBO Max subscriptions doesn't make much sense, and is going to really be, yes, the subscriptions will play a little role. It'll play a little part in whether it's successful or not. But there's more to it than that. And the fact that it's moving to a 4-hour long movie and most likely going to be dropped one day, I think is going to hurt this idea of it being successful. So we've talked about streaming. That the HBO Max subscriptions are not going to determine whether it's successful or not. We also know that it's going to be dropping on 4K Blu-ray roughly around the time it drops on HBO Max. There's also going to be, as long as theaters open up, some sort of limited theatrical run. Now, the rumor is that Warner Media dropped $70 million into this movie. Now, the early reports that I heard were closer to $30 million. Now it sounds like it is actually closer to that $70 million mark. That $70 million mark was not just for Zack Snyder's Justice League, but for other aspects of the cul-de-sac or Snyderverse, as a whole. Now, I'm not saying that $70 million was going to go to make the Batfleck project happen and JL 1 or 2 and 3. No. But other aspects of Snyderverse are incorporated in getting some of that $70 million, give or take. So, how does Warner Media make this money? Now, it's really interesting to hear what Walter Hamada said a couple weeks ago, about them focusing on, these DC properties. There's going to be more connection to the movies as well as the shows. So where does Zack Snyder's Justice League fall? Where does that fit in all that? Well, we know what he's talking about is because the Batman is going to get the Gotham PD show. We got the Suicide Squad getting the Peacemaker show. Where's Zack Snyder's Justice League fit? We also know that the Snyderverse is going to be its own little universe of the multiverse in some form or fashion. You have Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And then anything that comes after that, part of that continuity. So what does that mean? Well, what Walter Hamada said was not necessarily in relation to all aspects of the DC content that's being laid out, but I think he was insinuating and speaking about a more direct way of doing this storytelling, like never before. He is going and he's making these films, and then he's going to say, you know what, let's connect this TV show. Do we have an idea for a TV show? So it's brilliant. I think it's a great idea. Whether you like Hamada or not right now, I know I'm not a big fan of his right now after all the stuff that's coming out with Ray Fisher, but it's finally a direction for DC films, and I like that. I wanted to see a direction for DC films. But what does that mean for Zack Snyder's Justice League? Well, there's this idea that Walter Hamada and Warner Brothers are looking for a way to manipulate and cause Zack Snyder's Justice League to fail before it comes out. Now, before you jump to conclusions or jump to yelling at me in the chat as, well, what the hell? What are you talking about? Because, why would they do that? It makes no sense. And, I would say I agree. If it wasn't for that piece that dropped where I believe it was Rodney or Hollywood Reporter, one of the two, that stated that somebody within Warner Brothers, called Zack's, or a cul-de-sac of film, or it goes nowhere. Now, you don't do that before a movie comes out. Even if that is the case, even if it is a one and done, you don't do that. Because you always have to leave the opportunity and the ability and the option and the idea that there could be more. Now, I'm going to go and watch this regardless of what Variety, Hollywood Reporter reports. But there's a lot of people out there who want to see a larger continuation, a larger universe built with the DC universe. And when you sit there and tell everybody, like, this little thing over here, this little Zack Snyder thing going on over here, it's not going anywhere. Why bother? That's when you start to sit there and say, you know what? It does sound like they could be sabotaging that movie before it comes out. And it's not that crazy to even consider, being as there was some sabotage that went on with Batman vs. Superman. A lot of people forget that. The negative press that surrounded Batman vs. Superman prior to it coming out was unbelievable. There were people getting this information, dropping things, explaining, aspects of the movie months before it even came out. There's the rumor that somebody within DC Films and Warner Bros. Leaked Zack Snyder's plans to a rival company. Is that true? Is that not? It's for you to decide and to look into. Personally, the similarities are a little too similar to say that's not true, that it didn't happen. With 100% certainty saying it didn't happen, it's almost impossible to say. So the thought that they could very well be sabotaging this can be believable at this point. So we have that going. But still, that doesn't tell us how did Zack Snyder's Justice League become successful. So, HBO Max subscriptions. No. Blu-ray DVD sales. Yeah, that'll help. That'll help. That in conjunction with the subscriptions, absolutely. Another aspect that, and this seemed to start back 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. Honestly, I kind of seems to me that it started to happen right around Man of Steel. This notion, an idea that what critics say on websites like Rotten Tomatoes is what determines the success of a movie. Now, to me, that is absolutely outrageous. Go see it yourself. Do I look at these reviews? Occasionally I'll look at the reviews. But never has a review from a critic ever swayed me from going and making my own decision on a movie, me going and seeing it, and spending my money to make a decision on it. I'm not saying that you people who watch my show or people who follow me on Twitter or Facebook are like that, but there are people out there who will sit there and say, well, if this critic didn't like it, I'm probably not going to like it. And that's a shame. I always have said this. Not always, but back around 2017 or so, 2016, 2017, I started this thing with demanding that there be further embargoes on reviews of movies and TV shows. To me, I think it would be a great idea to further expand an embargo to maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the movie releases, or even a day after the movie releases. At least a critic embargo or score or something like that. But that's just me. I also think that a critic should have to watch the movie 2 to 3 times before making a judgment and a review. Again, that's hard to monitor and truly get a handle on. But you know what I'm saying. But enough about that. So are the critics' reviews going to say it's successful? Not at all. And I hope to God that HBO Max and Warner Media understand they cannot go off of what the critics say, because they've been harsh on Zack Snyder for many years. And the fans have been the complete opposite of what the critics say about him. So, what is going to determine if Zack Snyder's Justice League fails or is a success? Let me tell you this, how it could fail. Let me tell you this. touched on it a little bit ago. Any manipulation, any sabotaging done by Warner Brothers is absolutely going to make it fail. However, we, the fans, the people who created that movement, the people who are part of the movement, who pushed the movement for release the Snyder Cut, can counteract that. So while, yeah, that is one aspect that can cause this movie to fail, that isn't the be-all, end-all. But what could cause this to fail is the negativity, the division, everybody within the movement going against each other, fighting amongst each other. Like, enough. I have been one of those who've gotten into it. I have. I will not lie. I've gotten into it with some people. We're all passionate. We all want certain things. We all want Ben Affleck. We all want a Green Lantern. We all want to know who the Green Lantern is. Not Ryan Reynolds. But we all want to know what's going on. There's no reason to fight with each other, amongst each other. There's no reason. We're all in it for the same thing. A lot of it falls onto some scoopers out there who want to be the first, who want to be right, who want to say they're right, who want to come up with things and have it happen, and then they can say, "Ha, I showed you." But it doesn't matter. None of that matters at all. What matters is Zack Snyder's Justice League. What matters is the artistic integrity that we fought for. What matters is that this is a success beyond anybody's imagination. That's the only way it'll succeed, as well as the only way it will fail. The power is in our hands. The power is up to us. We hold it in our hands. We can let this fail, or we can make this the biggest movie to ever come out in the superhero genre. A lot of people will sit there and say, well, the movement isn't quite as big as you think it is, because how can you tell on Twitter, 100,000 tweets saying release a Snyder Cut could literally be 10 people just using a bot or something. Okay, I get that. You're not wrong. I think those movements and those events online are fun. They're spectacular. They're little things that just help raise awareness for things. But you're right. 100,000 tweets doesn't mean 100,000 people. 200,000 tweets doesn't mean 200,000 people. Which means our numbers are a lot smaller than what you think. And yet we still made this movie happen. And it's up to us to make sure that it's a success. It needs to be a success. We want it to be a success. Look, guys, throw down in the comments your thoughts on all this. I want to hear them. I apologize I couldn't do the live chat and live video with you today. They said my phone, StreamYard, something was acting up. Just didn't want to work for me. So I wanted to record this. I recorded it, throw it up after I get home. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think is the one thing that could cause this movie to fail? And what's the one thing that will make this successful? I mean, if you agree with me, great. Because I really don't think that subscriptions or DVD sales, Blu-ray sales, are going to be the be-all, end-all of that. Because it can't be. Because that is hard to track right now. Well, especially when it comes to HBO Max. Blu-ray sales is one thing. All they need to make up to break even is around that $70 million mark, which they will make back if they have not already in HBO subscriptions. HBO Max subscriptions. The DVD sales, the Blu-ray sales, the further subscriptions that happen between now and when it releases in March, obviously will play into that. And will probably take them up to higher amounts of money. $70 million isn't a lot for a superhero movie to spend. not nowadays. So if that is what they spent, it makes complete sense. And especially when you look at what Disney Plus has spent, which is, what, 250, I think, $250 million on WandaVision. So, yeah. And I don't even think it's going to work out. That's going to be just around 4 hours when all is said and done. WandaVision. WandaVision is about 20 to 30 minute long episodes, and we're getting 9 of them. So, barely 4 hours for $250,000 or $50 million. $250 million. It's insane. So, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Let me know in the comments what you think and how you believe Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to succeed. I want to hear it. Let me know. With all that, thank you so much for watching. Again, I apologize this wasn't live. I wanted it to be live, couldn't get it to be live. But maybe next time, next week. I have a whole bunch of ideas and different shows I'm going to bring up this week. I am going to do a quick, probably 10-minute review of WandaVision for all of you later today. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, with all that said, guys, take it easy, and I will talk to all of you later.